Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Journey to Greatness, day 142 of 365 with David McDonald, the GOAT. Good morning, Liz. Happy Thursday. Throwback Thursday. Throwback Thursday. All right. Let's get to this meditation routine real quick. I'll see you guys on the other side. Yusuf, what's up, man? Good morning. Good morning. Alrighty, welcome back. So we just completed our. Hey, Auntie, good morning. We just completed our meditation routine, and now we're going to get into our reading routine. I'm reading Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And if you're joining us for the first time, you don't have a book to read, then go ahead and pull up a chair in your iPhone, pull up some type of book online. There we are. All right, I'll see you guys on the other side. I got to grab my charger. Alrighty, welcome back. Welcome back. So we just finished our reading routine. And we are going to get into our journaling routine. So with our journaling routine, I especially like the journaling routine because it allows us to pretty much document our journey. And so the first most important things in the morning that I consider are being able, waking up is the most grateful thing that I like to journal about. And then having exceptional health. And then from there, if you're just joining us for the first time, what I usually like to write about is pretty much yesterday's successes. I feel like it's really important to show respect to the universe, show respect to people, and your life experiences, things that happen to you, that are great and that are not so great, and just find the silver lining or the learning experience from those things, and then to document it, and then to write how you wish your day to be today, and so on and so forth for your goals, 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, etc. So, if you don't have a piece of paper, just go and grab one and a pen. Super easy to do. And then I'll see you guys on the other side. If you don't know what to write about, just write about what you're most grateful for, what you're most appreciative for, and write why and go into detail. What type of person are you? What type of person do you see yourself as? Where are your shortcomings? And then write a new reality for yourself. How are you going to overcome those shortcomings? And you just keep working through, and just keep trying to find things. If there's things on your mind, get them down on paper. If there's a plan or something you wish to create for yourself or a business or whatever, but get that down on paper. So anyway, if you need help with that, just message me and go from there. Beautiful. All right, everyone, welcome back. So very, very interesting time to say the least. The thing is I think when we start experiencing and coming into our greatness, when that desire within you becomes so strong and you start to see that desire, take form in the physical presence, it can get to a point of excitement and it can become somewhat overwhelming. And I'm just giving you guys a heads up. Depending on how big and what you ask for, it can get pretty overwhelming. Pause. So when you're manifesting, working from the outside in, inside out, just remember that when you're manifesting, you want to be specific, very, very specific. When you're thinking about things you want to create, for example, I want to make $1 million. Okay? Not me, but I'm just saying. I want to make $1 million. Be very specific and intentional about where that money is going to come from, who's going to be impacted for you to reach it or to get it, what's going to happen to your life and how it's going to change, what's going to happen to the people's lives around you, the type of work that you're going to have to do, the type of energy you're going to have to expend, the everything. Think from the inside out. And it's a beautiful thing. But during the times when you're manifesting, you're creating at one of your highest levels, when things are happening around you that you can't even explain, the biggest piece of it all, one of the biggest variables of it all is to remain balanced. And the way that you remain balanced is by just making sure that you're paying close attention to what's happening. Not only are you paying close attention to what's happening, but you're keeping your mind on a level or it's a very interesting feeling, because when you first create and you're like, wow, I did that. And then after you create, you start to create more and more and more and more. And then you press the brakes and you're like, whoa, hold on. It's a lot. I'm creating a lot. And when you get to that point, now it's like a filter. So now you have all of this stuff that you're grabbing from the universe, smash it together, and then boom, it goes through. You have to stay in tune. You have to stay focused, because then so it doesn't get out of control. And then boom, it goes through this filter. You filter out the things of that creation, that thing that you just made. You filter it through. It comes out refined even more. You spend that time building and building, re-strategizing and etching in between the lines of what you actually want. And then it filters again, and then again, then again. And then you don't really change directions on what you want. You're just more specific. But sometimes it's hard to bring all of this, oh, I want this all, boom, slam it together, and then say, okay, this is, you gotta go through that a couple times in order to, or you may not have to, of course, that's always a possibility, but just one angle is you may go through that. And when you go through it, it's just about refining what it is that you want. And refining just means providing more detail so the universe can help assist with that, so that you're not experiencing collateral damage or collateral success. That's what I should say. Collateral success of what you're actually wishing to manifest, right? The reality, the life, the lifestyle, the characteristics that you wish to have, etc. I hope that makes sense. But it gets your mind is like a jigsaw puzzle, and you're trying to figure out, it can be a very complex thing, and it's a beautiful complex thing, not like a challenging, derivatives and all this kind of mathematics, right? It is to that degree, but it's a little bit more understandable, because it's really just more so paying attention to your emotions, the thoughts that you're having, and then the things you're experiencing in real life, your time, your patience, your language, right? All these little things are affected. And a lot more. And so it's a matter of really, really honing in on what it is that you want. I just had to throw that out there, because stepping into your greatness or increasing the level of greatness that you know you have already is a beautiful thing. And it's a very, very powerful thing. Like, I can't say that enough. It's so powerful, it will scare you, right? Like, it's so powerful, it will scare you. And that's magical in its own respects. But along the ride, we're not, just asking for all this stuff to come to us. We're literally building ourselves up so that we can handle. It's like, oh man, I know I'm at a loss for words, and I keep running around in this circle, but I'm trying to use my words to best describe this other angle to just be considered. So I just dropped the seed. I planted the seed. If you know it already, great. If you don't understand what I mean, then that's great too. We planted the seed. It'll grow and blossom. And then some point or another, even if it's not now, then down the road, it'll make sense. But I love you. Power of the mastermind. Yesterday, we talked about the Prophet Muhammad, how his feeling or his calling that God told him to come back and pretty much create the Nation of Islam and involvement for the Muslim culture, this, that, and the other, and how he was the chosen being. And how his original innovative plan was to include Christianity and Jews, but they didn't accept it. They didn't accept his invitation to do that. So then now we move into the power. And why was that significant? That was significant because he had a really negative experience by coming back and starting pretty much being the founder of the Muslim religion. He was pretty much spit on. They threw rock, they just treated him really bad. And then and that's everybody in the world, right? For the most part, that who weren't followers. And he ended up creating something so big, obviously, it still continues to live on today. And I'll leave it at that for the sake of being politically correct. Power of the mastermind. The driving force, the ninth step toward riches. Power is essential for success in the accumulation of money. Plans are inert and useless without sufficient power to translate them into action. Power may be defined as organized and intelligently directed knowledge. Okay, I didn't even catch that. All that stuff I was just talking about in the beginning, that's exactly what I like that explanation for it. So the feeling in the other angle is describing a place of organized and intelligently directed knowledge, because you're paying attention to all of the different functions in your body. Good morning, Donald. How's it going, brother? It's because we're paying attention and we're strategically putting information on how our bodies are responding to all of these great things that we're creating. Okay. Power is required for the accumulation of money. What is power? I'm going to say it again. Power may be defined as organized and intelligently directed knowledge that must be executed on. Power is required for the accumulation of money. Power is necessary for the retention of money after it is accumulated, after it has been accumulated. There's nothing like making $30 million and then blowing it all because you never knew how to manage your money, right? The cool thing about that is they say once you become a millionaire, it's always easier a lot of millionaires go broke and bankrupt strategically found bankruptcy. But the cool thing is it's easy to get back to $1 million because you've already done it before. Good morning, Mr. Hopkins. How's it going? And so power is necessary for the retention of money after it has been accumulated. Let us ascertain how power may be acquired. If power is organized knowledge, let us examine the sources of knowledge. And there's 3 different types. Infinite intelligence, which is something that we all have. This source of knowledge may be contacted through the procedure described in another chapter with the aid of creative imagination. What was infinite intelligence? That was earlier in our chapter, or in our book. I believe okay, let me go through these and I might be able to pull it out. Accumulated experience. The accumulated experience of man, or that portion of it which has been organized and recorded, may be found in any well-equipped public library. An important part of this accumulated experience is taught in public schools and colleges where it has been classified and organized. Experiment and research. This is 3 different ways. 3 different sources of knowledge. Experiment and research. In the field of science and in practically every other walk of life, men are gathering, classifying, and organizing new facts daily. This is the source to which one must turn when knowledge is not available through accumulated experience. Here, too, the creative imagination must be used. Okay, so I was going to say the infinite intelligence, I think, is somewhere along the lines with that third one, the accumulated experience. So it's the thing that you go through in life where you have a fundamental understanding of how things are to be. And within that realm of things that are to be, you have creative. And the creative mind or imaginative mind allows you to take your fundamental understandings and elevate them to a place of, it's not a place of impossibility, but it's a place that people will call impossible who haven't tapped into their greatest intelligence. Knowledge may be required from any of the foregoing sources. So we talk about it may be converted into power by organizing it into definite plans and by expressing those plans in terms of action. So examination of the 3 major sources of knowledge will readily disclose the difficulty an individual would have if he depended upon his efforts alone in assembling knowledge and expressing it through definite plans in terms of action. If his plans are comprehensive and if they contemplate large proportions, he must generally induce others to cooperate with him before he can inject into them the necessary element of power. That's an interesting statement. And I almost didn't read it because I wasn't too sure about what that really meant, you know? But then it goes into masterminding. So essentially, I think what this book is saying is this. In order for us independently to be very, very, very successful, ultra successful, one of the main ways that all of the greatest people, Carnegie, Ford, Rockefeller, all of these like people who their legacies and their DNA runs very rapidly through, our power of government and things like that. All of them achieve their fortune through masterminding groups and collective intelligence. So it wasn't just one genius who sat in a room and just created this huge system of functionality. It was a group of people who came together and really, created something special. Now, there was one person in particular that kind of put the idea out there, and that was the source of the idea. But the bigger idea of this concept is you have to have a mastermind group to plug into, which is interesting. It's something I'm still digesting. I understand it, but I'm still digesting that entire message. So there's two type of criteria for a mastermind group, and essentially are two features that you will experience. The first is the economic feature. Economic advantages may be created by any person who surrounds himself with the advice, counsel, and personal cooperation of a group of men and women in our time, but men who are willing to lend him wholehearted aid in a spirit of perfect harmony. This form of cooperative alliance has been the basis of nearly every fortune. Your understanding of this great truth may definitely determine your financial status. So again, you don't have to be in a mastermind group. That's what you're choosing not to do. But from this book's teachings, it's saying that all of the past successful people have been involved in some type of masterminding group that create and cultivates exactly what the journey to greatness is about. The psychic phase, which is the psychic feature. The psychic feature of the mastermind principle is much more abstract, much more difficult to comprehend, because it has reference to the spiritual forces with which the human race as a whole is not well acquainted. In other words, we are spiritual beings. We all have powers to create, along with the universal energy, God, higher power, however you define it. Most people haven't tapped into that yet. With that being said, if you haven't tapped into it yet, you may or may not understand the psychic feature or how to use it. Keep in mind the fact that there are only two known elements in the whole universe, energy and matter. That is the proof, the fundamental proof that things have energy. There is energy around us. There are things constantly being created around us. Through the evolution of airplanes, constantly building, constantly creating. Man and women are both creating at a constant rate. Keep in mind the fact that there are only two elements in the whole universe, energy and matter. The human mind is a form of energy, a part of it being spiritual in nature. When the minds of two people are coordinated in spirit of harmony, the spiritual units of energy of each mind form an affinity, which constitutes the psychic phase of the mastermind. So, in a lot of Bibles and religious studies, they say the spirit is present when there's one or more people, or when there's more than one person, right? I think the spirit's always present, but when you have more than one person, the spirit is I think has a heavier presence, because of the collaboration of multiple spirits being in a room and energies being in a room, in not in a negative or opposition type of mode. We're in unity, and when we're in unity, we have it's like a oneness in energy. We're sharing each other's energy in a supportive way. And so therefore, our ability to create as a mastermind group, our ability to create as an individual, our capacity is increased, because there are multiple minds, because there are multiple energies in one space. So what does all of this really freaking mean? Right? This is kind of, again, I think this is like next level stuff, you know? It's so simple, and maybe pause. And I'm just going to end it here. So there's so many levels to everything that we're getting into, and there's intricate pieces. And the more and more we get to know ourselves, is the more and more these intricate pieces expose themselves to us, which allow us to grow energetically, spiritually, physically, everything to the next level. And so, again, I know it may feel like a lot, or maybe it doesn't feel like a lot. But for those who are like, what is this? Like, what is this next part? The part I just spent the last 20 minutes talking about. It's very, very important stuff to pay attention to. But the thing is it'll make sense. It'll make sense when the time is right. If it doesn't make sense now, it'll make sense when the time is right. For me, this is like brand new stuff. I can't lie. This is a brand new stuff. And I shouldn't say I can't lie. I should say I must admit. This is brand new stuff. The idea of having a mastermind, I've never known about that. I know the power. I know how I feel when I sit around a group like we had with the Journey to Greatness, almost a month ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, when we were sitting around group table and we were just discussing for 4 hours. I know what that feeling felt like, and I know how happy that makes me feel to sit around a group of people who are intelligent and who are beautiful, who have beautiful souls. I appreciate that. So, and great energy, right? That I love that aspect of it. I know how powerful that is, but within that, to create and build an empire as one and be in unison with one another, and then using that energy, or not deliberate, you're extracting that energy without going to the meeting and just showing up just for people to plug into you necessarily, so that you can take all the energy from the group. When you show up, you're contributing through your natural contribution, through everybody's natural contribution in this mastermind group. You are able to create an energy that automatically reciprocates to you. So you don't have to be in the state of mind, or you don't have to be in the place where you're there just trying to take. You're there to contribute. And when you contribute, that greater energy is dispersed and distributed with all of the same equal values to everybody that's in the group. And when you receive that energy, then you are able to disconnect from the group, go do your own thing, and that helps with your creative power. Okay, I'm done. I love you guys. That's a big one to chew. I think that's a really big one to chew. Morning, Ma. That's a big one to chew. Robert, good morning. Good morning. So I hope I did anyway, I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Day 142 of 365 with David McDonald, the GOAT. And I'll see you guys tomorrow at 5 a.m. Have the best day of your life. Tap into your greatest greatness. And take a second to just sit in silence after this video. Just sit right where you are and think about who you are, and think about the power. Think about the message. Digest it. If you're at the gym, just stop and sit on the floor. Close your eyes right in the middle of the gym, wherever you are, and just be in silence for like 2 minutes. Feel your body. Feel the energy that's flowing through you. Feel your mind. Feel the sweat. Feel everything. And just sit there for a second and just find a moment of clarity. Just shut off everything in your mind and just be. And if you want to share, let me know. Thank you, everybody who's been on the messenger board this morning. I appreciate you 100 million times. Good morning. Good morning. I can't tell you how that feels, and how grateful I am to have you all here, letting me know that you're here. And I know you guys are all here, and I appreciate that. So everybody who's joining us, if you could jump on the Journey to Greatness page, that'd be awesome. We're at like 29. I think it's 29. Let's get to 30. So if you enjoy or you appreciate the morning, sessions, if you could just go on the Journey to Greatness page and press the like button, that would be awesome. And then yeah, like I said, have the best day of your life. I'll see you guys tomorrow.